Hey guys, Max2015 here. Welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach. Today we're going to do something a little bit different from what we usually do. I will be showing you some replays from last night towards the end of the video. But one of you guys had reached me out on the forums and on the channel to see if I could do a review of your base because he needs a little bit of help pushing towards the top of his country. His name is Philo. Been a long time viewer, compatriot from Venezuela. And he's currently number something in Venezuela. Let me see what his email is. He's top 12 in his own country, which is pretty good. And it seems like 1,180 victory points is what he needs to be local number one. So let's go ahead and take a look at his base. His task force name is Venezuela Unida. So let's see, Venezuela. Are we there? Unida. And there's this one, this base with 50 people. So here he is, sitting at number one. He's the leader also, at level 62. So he did actually admit that maybe one of the big factors why he hasn't been able to push further than the current 1136 here is maybe because he's only level 62. And I think, yes, maybe that has something to do with it, because once you reach to a certain point, you need defense. And I can tell right now that these flamethrowers are a little bit underdone. Same with these little baby cannons. I mean, the big defenses, the key defenses are there. The shock launchers, the rocket launchers look maxed. Boom cannons obviously look maxed. Mortars are key. But you'd be surprised what a big difference those flamethrowers can make, and even the sniper towers. So, but you know what? We're already sitting here. If you're already where you are, and I know that upgrading will take a long time. So anyway, his main question is, should he be switching some of his gunboat energy guardians? They're all perfect. They're all 17% for some more ice. He only has one ice statue, which is boosted. First of all, Phil, I don't know if you have how much power powder you have, because power powder is a big key. You need power powder to keep your ice boosted. So I don't know, you have a Power Stone chance in here, which I'm not sure if it's doing anything for you. I'm gonna guess if you're already at 1136 victory points and you need 1200 to be number one in your country, which is not bad. You're looking at maybe like a 60 victory point difference, which is not much at all. If you have, I'm gonna say 100 to 150 power powder, you can certainly do it, totally. And you can boost your ice and all of your offensive statues on your way up there. So if you have 100 power powder or more, then you should be good to go. If so, I say get rid of this Power Stone chance and put down your defensive building damage masterpiece, and then get rid of one of these gunboat energies. I'm not sure you need all four of them. I mean, I see you have RZCM 3311 loaded up in here. Unless you use warriors all the time, I don't think you need that much gunboat energy. I'll let you keep this one troop health guardian because your masterpiece is far from perfect. It's only at 30%. And the troop damage, those are good to have. I have 2 troop damage myself, so I guess, keep those. But yeah, I think you can switch out one of these Power Stone chances and the one gunboat energy for 2 more ice statues. So you'll have a total of 3 ice statues, two masterpieces, 1 guardian. If you can keep those boosted, I think you'll be fine. The other thing is, maybe you should consider putting down a shield generator, because having a naked HQ like this nowadays, that's just asking for it to be wrecked. I mean, I can see a path for warriors already straight down the line, and me personally, I would just use heavy Zuka and snipe the HQ. It would be super easy. I would just take down this flamethrower along with that iron storage for space. It'll get me 6 gunboat energy, and then I'll just blast the HQ with heavy Zukas. The Zukas will also be at the blind spot of this rocket launcher, so I don't even have to worry about it. So yeah, consider putting down a shield. I think that would be very helpful. So that also, depends on how many prototype parts you have. But yes, Philo, if you need to make it to 1180, I think you can definitely do it. It shouldn't be hard. I don't think just because you're at level 62, it's not gonna happen. It's not a lot of EP, so I think you can definitely do it. Also, guys, let me just make this clear. This is just my personal opinion. It doesn't mean that what I'm saying is exactly what he should be doing or what you should be doing. It's your own game. It's your own push. You do whatever you want to do. But he asked me for my opinion, so that's what I personally would have done if I was in his position and I wanted to get to 1180 victory points. So, yeah, I think that's what you can do. Your base doesn't look too bad. Just a couple of minor changes and be active. There's no way you can be pushing victory points if you're not active, so you just have to play every day. But yeah, you can certainly do it. I mean, I don't think your goal is crazy out of reach, so you can certainly get to #1 in Venezuela. And if you get there, make sure you take a screenshot and then send it to me. And same for any of you guys. If you'd like for me to take a look at your base and you need any advice from me, not like I'm like the best giving advice, but I'm just saying, if you'd like me to have me take a look at your base, just send me a message down in the comments below, and I can hop over and look at your task force, and we can talk about your base. Now let's get into some of these attacks from last night. We're going to be using, I think, a mixture between heavy Zuka and RCCM, 3:3:1:1 ratio. Let me lower that volume, it's kind of loud. So the first base here is I think it's Thai Gok. It sounds Vietnamese. I'm not sure if that's how you read it. Anyhow, this was the first base of the night last night. It was a relatively easy one. Actually, it was a pretty easy one. I mean, 3 ice statues, no boost, center layout with one shield and a shot launcher in the back. So all I had to do was just clear one of the rocket launchers, so I could smoke in between the other two, so I can take those down. Make the screen a little bit bigger so I can see it. Alright. And then just smoke them all the way back. That noise you hear in the background, that's the rice cooker. Please don't mind it. I'm kind of in the middle of making lunch, so it'll stop in a few seconds. Reverse smokes at the end, just to cover those medics, but you guys can see those medics are really trailing behind. And I think I'm going to lose 2 of them on the way. Yeah, I'm down to 3 medics already, which really sucks because when you have one boat, you kind of want to have all your medics in there. Anyhow, too deep into the base to kind of quit, so we just keep on going with the attack. So critters shock all the splash damage around the HQ, and then just kind of let the troops explode out. My original plan was to have the Zukas go for that shield generator in the back, but it didn't really pan out exactly the way I wanted to. Actually, no, it did. I wanted more troops in the back, but there were just a couple of little Zukas in the back taking down that HQ. So once that thing went down, it was just easy finish for the rest of the troops. I just had to keep on throwing critters right on the HQ, so the rest of the troops would finish it off. So that worked out nice. The first base was really easy. But that's not to say, last night I had a really horrible time. Oh, and then I got a crystal. I forgot about that. It's always nice to see a crystal popping out. And you know what? It does happen more often than you'd expect, considering that I don't have any Power Stone chances. Seeing crystals is actually pretty nice. So yeah, last night I had a really tough night. I couldn't beat about 5 bases on my map. It's just, awful timing, and I've been sucking so bad recently, so I'm only able to take down the really easy bases with very little ice. This base here, I think he had only 2 ice statues. I mean, this time they were both boosted and had a laser beam, but still not a big deal there. So take down the one rocket launcher that was furthest into the base, and then one of the shot launchers. And because he didn't have too much ice, it was actually pretty easy. Also notice that this time we switched to RCCM, but we have 2 boats of medics and 2 boats of Zukas this time. Because I think I tried it the first time with 3 boats of Zukas, but I just didn't have enough heal. So I needed to bring some extra medics this time. So smoke them to the corner, flare them, and then smoke so they could explode out of that smoke there. Throw some critters all the way up there to see if I could distract the laser beam. If you notice, that laser beam, the first shot barely missed some of my troops, so I got a little bit lucky there. And then I just had to keep on shocking the thing. I was fortunate that I was able to shock the laser beam and the rocket launcher together. So, that takes care of 2 of the big splash damage buildings. And my troops could just kind of advance. This was actually a little bit of a tricky base, even though he only had 2 eyes. So if he had 4 or 5 eyes, I don't think I could have done it. But anyhow, that's how the game goes. So you can see there's still 1 rocket launcher shooting at us. Oh, did I take out a shot launcher or a rocket launcher first? I think it was a shot launcher. I think I said rocket launcher. I'm just realizing it now. So yeah, that's why I needed the extra medics, because the last rocket launcher that was all the way next to the HQ was still shooting at me. So I needed the extra medics to kind of out-heal the 1 rocket. So smoked them all the way to the top corner there. There were 2 boom mines. I don't think I was able to do anything there. Not like I had a lot of gunboat energy to spare, so I just let my troops just eat those 2 boom mines. Yeah, there goes one of the crying ears. Some critters to distract the cannons and the boom cannons that were coming in there. So just to buy my troops a little bit of time to walk into the HQ there. The good thing is that there weren't too many mines left at this point, so I didn't have to worry too much about that. And everything seemed to be just single shots, except for those 2 little mortars down there. They're side by side. Though when you have 2 mortars next to each other, you can have to be very careful, especially when you're using RCCM. So that's why I had to choose to shock the 2 mortars rather than the 1 rocket launcher, because the mortars would have killed my troops with 1 shot each. So there was 1 flamethrower. I had to throw that med kit in there, but like I said before, I had 2 boats of medics, so I wasn't too concerned with that. I had to throw more med kits, and then luckily there were a couple of Zukas right there that were able to shoot at that the mortar, but then they got killed. I think there's going to be 1 Zuka right there who will finish off the mortar for me, but you know, it was bad timing because I had also thrown an artillery shell because I was panicking a little bit. But anyhow, once we got to this point, all we had left was 1 machine gun, and you know, with 10 medics standing in there was nothing to worry about. So just reflare the troops a little bit higher and just let them finish off the HQ. So this base was actually kind of easy, not too bad. Alright, so let's move on to the next base. I think this base was online, yeah, this one was a tricky base. I think I attacked him 1 time, I failed, and then he just stayed online the rest of the night, so I couldn't attack him again. So I eventually did get him, I did raid him, but I don't have that replay saved, unfortunately. Anyways, Gesto here. Another easy base actually, 2 ice statues only, 2 masterpieces, neither of them boosted, so this base was just begging to be raided. Take down the 1 rocket launcher on the left side along with that cannon, so I was able to take down 2 buildings, which kind of gets me a little bit more gunboat energy. And because he wasn't boosted, your gunboat energy actually goes a long way. So right there I decided to take down the 1-shot launcher just to make things a lot easier for me. And this time we have heavy Zuka instead of RZCM. So I think we're gonna just deploy all the troops right down the corner, 3 boats of heavies, because there was a lot of defenses in the front, so I decided to put 3 boats of heavies first. Zukas behind them, let them take down a couple of those sniper towers, and then finally flare them to the back there. Kind of got a little bit messy, and they started to walk sort of like an awkward diagonal, and man, that one, the laser beam did fire 1 shot. Got a couple of my Zukas though, but I still have the great majority of them, which is fine. What's up, Rika? You wanna come up again? Come on. Alright, reflare. Oh, reflare straight to the laser beam, and then shock around. Yeah, throw a medkit, critters on the HQ to distract the 1-shot launcher standing, and then you kind of just have to let the Zukas, you know, pick their targets, spread out, and take down as many defenses as possible. So once they clear all the buildings around the HQ, it was actually really easy, especially because there was only 1-shot launcher that was still standing. We already took down 1 of them, so that was kind of easy. There's Rika, and you can see with 4 boats of Zuka shooting at that at the shield, the thing actually came down super fast. But then, you know, we also have to remember that that HQ wasn't boosted. I mean, the ice wasn't boosted, so it was actually kind of easy. And then I think we have 1 more attack left. Yeah, the last attack. This was a fun one. I didn't think I was going to get this one done, but miraculously, you know what? If you don't give up on the raid, it actually pans out sometimes. It was an RZCM base, this one. It's a Korean base, amigo. I wonder if it means like amigo, like a friend in Spanish, just spelled out in Hangul. Anyways, 5 ice statues, 4 of them boosted. This was a much trickier base. And if you see that all the mines that were sitting in the front there, it was kind of really difficult to deploy RZCM because, you know, mines would just kill all your troops. So I had to decide to put them right there next to the flamethrower, a little bit closer to the center of the base, which is sort of out of my comfort zone, but that was like the safest spot to do it. So put down all the troops down there, let them take down the 1 flamethrower, and then finally smoke to the back. I had to throw 2 smokes because my troops had scattered a lot. And then at this point, I wasn't too sure. I was kind of freaking out a little bit because, you know, I just didn't get too good of a feeling on the base. Reverse smokes at the end, as usual, to protect those medics. Let the troops kind of get there. And then be ready with, I think, critters. And a couple of shocks on all the big splash damage. I didn't have to worry much about the 1 rocket launcher in the top because we were all standing on the blind spot. So all I had to worry about was just the shot launchers maybe. So I had to throw another shock on the one rocket launcher that was still standing. That was kind of tricky. And another shock on the one shot launcher. Notice that I've already thrown like 4 or 5 shock bombs, so I really wasn't feeling too good. And my troops were so scattered, I really didn't think I had a chance. So I just decided to just smoke all the way to the back and regroup, see if I could think. But then I noticed that I smoked them to the worst possible space. I smoked them right in between that sniper tower and the machine gun. So I'm like, oh my god, that machine gun is just gonna rape all of my troops. So once they got there, they kind of finally grouped up and they started taking down all those economy buildings. And then I realized, nothing is shooting at them. So maybe I can get a little bit of gunboat energy, which is exactly what I did. So just kind of let them move nice and slow, but steady. There was one cannon there, but I had a fair amount of rifles left. And then right there, once I noticed the shot launcher starting to shoot, that was my cue to, back up a little bit. So flare them back to the very top of the base. This one's gonna be a long video. I think it took me almost all 3 minutes. Notice that one cryoneer in the bottom there, just ignoring the flare. That's how they always get killed, But then, oddly enough, after a while, she actually started following the flare. Look, and there she goes at the very end there. And look at that one medic trying to heal her back up. Isn't that crazy? So there we go. The troops on the top left now. We kind of like took down a third of the base, but look, that HQ still has so much health. Fortunately, everything in the left side right there, everything was just single shot, so the rifles were able to take them. My concern was that mortar in there, and I thought one artillery shell was going to finish it off, but it didn't. And that kind of forced me to use a second artillery shell. And at this point, believe me, artillery shells were very, very expensive. Sadly, this is not one of those replays that I kind of saved up where you could see the use of my gunboat energy. It was just a replay that I had left on the chat, on the task force chat. So I decided to share that with you guys. But yeah, I wish you guys could see how I was using the gunboat energy, because things were getting so expensive. And then this was my Hail Mary pass. Smoked them right to the center of the base, and then just let them naturally come down. There were some critters, because I think that's all I could afford at that point. But because everything was single shot, that one pack of critters actually lasted a little while longer than I expected. And it gave my troops, enough time to kind of gather out there. And look at all the Zukas just shooting at the HQ. And then miraculously, that base actually went down. So I'm not really sure how I did it. I'm not sure if I could pull it off again. But I was really happy with it. And it turned out to be a really great attack. Alright guys, so I think that's all I have for today. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay guys, I'm Max115. Keep on booming. Bye.